name is Lene. I am the writer of the villa story. In this video, Gardu is coming to visit us, and I'm going to try to paint some tulips for him because he likes flowers. Actually, Gardu sees us human beings as flowers.
Hi, Lanien. How are you? I think you've been expecting a visit from me today? Am I right?
Yes, Gardu. I am glad that you have come. I am fine, thank you. How are you? And would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you, I sure will. My name is Gardu, much obliged. I am a 12th dimensional and a good friend of Shoro and Villa. And I am also a good friend of you, our little writer Lanien, of course. I like what you have done with this place, Lanien. I have been looking forward to visiting you. Oh, what is this? You are painting tulips. They are lovely, Lanien.
Thank you, Gardu. I thought you might like it.
I am so glad you chose to make this journey from the place where you spend a lot of time nowadays. It is a very well-kept green park full of very old trees. I call it Gardu's garden in my book. You don't mind that they planted the trees there on top of you, do you?
No, I don't mind at all.
In fact, the trees often come in handy. I know you like throwing dead trees around if the humans don't behave.
So you noticed. Huh. Only they tend to behave these days.
Yes, I did. So are you bored?
No, not at all. I have developed a new strategy together with Shoro, as you know. He and I have chosen to help our young friend, Villa, in his quest to save a village not far away from my garden.
I know. Obviously because I wrote it. I have asked you to come here today so that you can tell a bit about yourself, and also tell my readers what you are doing in my villa story. So where would you like to start?
I am going to begin by talking about the why you write the story.
Oh, but that's so easy. I am writing simply because it's a lot of fun.
I know that, Lanien, and that is also one good reason for you to be writing. However, while you are at it, other issues have come along.
What other issues, Gardu?
Well, the transition. You call it the 13th source, just to make it easier and more fun to write about. However, what it is really all about is the introduction of renewable energy in order to replace the use of fossil fuels. The scientists and the leaders of your world call it the transition. This particular issue is one of the most essential steps towards peace on Earth for all of mankind.
I know. That is indeed a big issue. What a coincidence, by the way. There was a very big leader living in your garden many years before I was born. The other villagers told me about him when I was growing up. His name was
Count Ravenlow.
And he lived over 100 years before I was born in this particular area. He is buried at the cemetery of the same church where I received my communion a long time ago, at 12 years of age.
I remember him very well.
When I played in your garden as a child, there was always a remarkable bright light shining in that place. And it still is to this day. I remember playing there under the green leaves of the huge old oak trees. It was always so warm and lovely. Families would go there picnicking or celebrating the summer solstice.
When I was a little older, they told me stories about Count Ravenlow.
They told me about how much the peasants loved him. It was all the way back in the 1750s. He and his family had been very generous to their subject. This was the time before democracy. The nobles had all the power. Still, for some reason, this particular count and his family proceeded to build schools for the children and other measures against poverty and hunger. We locals were all very proud of all the good things this man did. As I grew into adulthood, I began to wonder, was this count and his family being affected by this remarkable bright and lovely light that I felt in this garden? Did you play a part in this, Gardu? Were you in contact with the Count himself?
Lanien, I am not going to answer this question, because it is something between me and the Count.
I suppose that it is none of my business then. It's just that it would be more logical if you inspired to someone who can vote and who has the power to change things. And I do often wonder, though, was I sensing all of the good vibes as a result of all the good feelings that the locals have had towards this family for the past 3 centuries? Or am I sensing your contact with this Count, Gardu? And this particular Count and his family, why were they so involved with the well-being of their subjects? Count Reventlow and his brother were good at calculating. They were logical and rational thinkers, and experienced in farming. They were discussing the question of keeping the kingdom stable and securing the king, in the same time period where the French Revolution was taking place, resulting in the royalties being beheaded in the guillotines. The 2 brothers came to the conclusion that the best way of avoiding this was to keep the peasants healthy and content. The simplest answer is often also the right answer. By the way, all the thoughts and intentions of this man and his brother have been meticulously documented, because the king at the time ordered them to write everything down and report it back to his majesty. Needless to say, these reports have been studied and analyzed extensively by many generations of historians, officials, and politicians ever since. I know because I have read about it in old documents. I googled it a short while ago, actually. And yet I cannot help but wonder, did you perhaps throw a dead tree after this Count Reventlow and his brother, or what?
All I can tell you is that humans are free to make their own decisions, Lanien. I cannot tell you more about that. I am sorry, Lanien. I understand that you find it intriguing.
I certainly do, Gardu. It's a bit like the question, what came first, the chicken or the egg? And of course, I will never know the answer to that question either. So I guess I just have to let go of it and move on with my fantasy story. And my amateuristic piece paintings? Apparently, for some reason, it's important enough that you and your friends inspire me to write my silly stories. Thanks, Gardu.
I think that is a splendid idea, Lanien. Therefore, I will recommend to all of you who are watching this video to subscribe. And I will be going now. Nice seeing you. Bye-bye, Lanien.
Bye-bye, Gardu. Nice of you to come. Have a nice trip back.
So this is the final introductory video. It has been a lot of fun to make these videos, and they are going to be online on YouTube and other social media from August 2025. Afterwards, I will start introducing videos that are more about the story and the other characters in my story, and I will continue writing. So, thanks for now.